welcome to the Daily English News program in Azərbaycan Televiziya with the major developments of the day. I am İlham. Victoria's Supreme Commander-in-Chief President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham addressed the nation on the occasion of September 27th, the Remembrance Day.
Exactly 1 year ago, Armenia committed a military provocation against Azerbaijan and fired on our battle positions in residential areas. As a result of this cowardly shooting, our civilians and servicemen were killed in the first hours. In response to this bloody crime, the Azerbaijani army launched a large-scale counter-offensive on my order and won a complete victory in the Second Karabakh War, which lasted 44 days. These views were expressed in the address of the victorious Supreme Commander-in-Chief, President İlham, on the occasion of the Remembrance Day, saying that by his executive order signed on December 2nd last year, 27 September was declared the Remembrance Day in Azerbaijan. The other said, we bow once again to the memory of our heroic martyrs who died in the Second Karabakh War and ask Allah to rest their souls in peace, emphasizing that a magnificent monument in honor of the heroes of the Second Karabakh War will be erected in Baku, in one of the most beautiful places of our city. The other state noted that the Second Karabakh War was our glorious history. This victory will go down in history forever. The Azerbaijani armed forces have restored our territorial integrity by crushing the enemy in 44 days. The head of state also stressed that we did not come to terms with the defeat in the First Karabakh War. We gathered strength, mobilized all our forces, strengthened our army, invigorated the country's economy, enhanced the authority of our country, and honorably fulfilled our historic mission. We have expelled the enemy from our lands and restored justice and international law. We have restored our national dignity. Today, the people of Azerbaijan live as victorious people. Today, the Azerbaijani state lives as a victorious state. From now on, we will forever live as victorious nation and a victorious state. Saying that Armenia perpetrated the most heinous crimes during the progress of the patriotic war and more than 100 civilians fell victim to Armenian fascism, President İlham added that despite all of this, we all lived by one motto: we will go forward in the face of death, and the people of Azerbaijan stood behind the Azerbaijani army, underlining that during the 44-day war, not a single soldier deserted from the Azerbaijani armed forces. The other state said that the heroism and self-sacrifice of our military servicemen will never be forgotten. The 44-day patriotic war was a celebration of national will, national spirit, and national dignity. We won the battle on the battlefield. More than 300 towns and villages were liberated on the battlefield. We achieved this victory by shedding blood and offering martyrs, and we forced the enemy to kneel before us and sign the act of capitulation, stressed the head of state, and underlined there is no administrative territory called Nagorno-Karabakh in Azerbaijan. President İlham expresses gratitude to Brazil, Turkey, and other countries which supported Azerbaijan the most throughout the 44 days, accentuating that during the occupation our cities have been razed to the ground, all our historical sites and mosques have been completely destroyed or desecrated by the Armenians. President İlham added that after the Armenian army's back had already been broken, after we had liberated Shusha, which was considered an impregnable fortress, and then more than 70 villages from the invaders, the enemy was forced to surrender. This lesson is an eternal lesson for them, and let no one forget about that. If we see Armenian fascism rising again, if we see a new threat being posed to our people and state, we will crush Armenian fascism again without any hesitation whatsoever. Everyone should know this. The Iron Fist, the symbol of the war and victory, is still in place. And let no one forget about that, said President İlham and once more time emphasized in his address to the nation, our heroic soldiers and officers who gave us this victory are the source of our pride. Their heroism, their bravery and self-sacrifice have already become a saga. From now on, we will live as victorious country, victorious people, and we will build and restore the liberated lands. Life is returning to those lands. People are returning. Our main goal today is to provide for this return as soon as possible. I would like to end my appeal with the words that are an integral part of our victory. Karabakh is ours, Karabakh is Azerbaijan.
Öz sözümü qələbəmizin ayrılmaz hissəsi olan sözlərlə tamamlamaq istəyirəm. Qarabağ bizimdir, Qarabağ Azərbaycandır.
On September 27th, on the Day of Remembrance, a march was organized to pay tribute to the memory of soldiers and officers who died during the battles for the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, killed peaceful civilians and our missing compatriots. Victorious Supreme Commander-in-Chief President İlham Aliyev, First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva took part in the march. Then the head of state led the foundation of the Patriotic War Memorial Complex and Victory Museum. President İlham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva visited the grave of the nationwide leader Heydər Əliyev at the Alley of Honor.
A march as a sign of deep respect for Azerbaijani soldiers and officers who died in the battles for the territorial integrity of the country, as well as for the killed civilians and missing Azerbaijanis during the Patriotic War, was held in Baku on September 27th, the Remembrance Day. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Supreme Commander-in-Chief İlham Aliyev, First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva, young cadets and servicemen marching with placards with the pictures of our heroes who had died for the territorial integrity of our motherland during the Patriotic War, missing servicemen and civilians who had been killed as a result of crimes against humanity and war crimes by the Armenian state, once again demonstrated the unity and resolve of our nation, the love to the motherland, and the infinite respect to our martyrs. İbrahimli Adil Asamoğlu, an officer of the military unit of the Ministry of Defense, First Lieutenant İbrahimli Adil Asamoğlu, died on November 7, 2020, during the military operations unfolding on the territory of Qocaman region. He showed personal heroism while implementing special tasks as part of military operations implemented in the direction of Shusha. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Aliyev, awarded Adil İbrahimli with medals Hero of the Patriotic War, for the motherland, for the liberation of Kelbejar, and for the liberation of Shusha. Khalagova Narin Teymurgızı. Khalagova Narin Teymurgızı was born on December 17, 2019 in Ganja. Being the only child of the family, Narin was born after 5 years of longing. Narin Khalagova was killed together with her mother Sevil Askerova, as well as with her close relatives Askerov Suliddin, Askerov Bakhtiyar, and Askerova Nigar, as a result of rocket shelling of Ganja by the Armenian armed forces on October 17, 2020. According to the decision of the Cabinet of Ministers, Khalagova Narin Teymurgızı was awarded the status of a martyr. The march, which started from Neftçiler Avenue, continued until Memorial Complex of Patriotic War and Victory Museum, the foundation of which was laid today by President İlham Aliyev. President, Supreme Commander-in-Chief İlham Aliyev, First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva, more than 3,000 cadets and military personnel of Azerbaijan Higher Military Academy named after Heydər Aliyev and Baku Garrison of the Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Azerbaijan participated in the march. With our nation uniting as a feast for the liberation of our lands during the Patriotic War, which started on September 27, 2020, in response to the military provocations of Armenia against Azerbaijan, our state managed to give a worthy response to the enemy. Our people demonstrated the strengths of the unity for the defense of motherland and liberation of our lands from the occupation to the entire world. The young cadets and servicemen who swore to be worthy children of Azerbaijan and its people, to stand bravely on the guard of the motherland, remember with deep respect our compatriots who died for our territorial integrity, honor the historic victory of the Azerbaijani army during the Patriotic War. During the 44-day war, 2,907 people were killed, 7 went missing, and 94 civilians who died as a result of Armenia's crimes against civilians were given the status of martyrs. Civilians of Ganja, Aghdam, Aghjabadi, Barda, Füzuli, Goranboy, Tertar districts, targeted by the enemy, showed determination and unity for the motherland in their most difficult days, even though they lost their loved ones and homes. Representatives of different nations and religions who have lived in peace and tranquility in Azerbaijan for centuries took part in the 44-day Patriotic War to ensure the territorial integrity of our country and restore justice. The Karabakh War once again demonstrated the solidarity of Azerbaijani society, despite its different religious and ethnic national affiliation. In the 44-day Patriotic War, the Azerbaijani army, under the leadership of Supreme Commander-in-Chief İlham Aliyev, gave us the joy of victory and wrote a proud history of Azerbaijan. The Patriotic War once again demonstrated the great love of the Azerbaijani youth for the motherland, and our people united around the Supreme Commander-in-Chief İlham Aliyev. During the Iron Fist military operation, our army heroically advanced past the fortifications and defense lines built by the enemy for about 30 years. A number of events dedicated to the memory of our soldiers and officers, civilians killed in the liberation of our lands were held on the Remembrance Day. Our martyrs were commemorated with deep respect in religious shrines in Azerbaijan, such as the Heydar Mosque, Tazapir Mosque, Yal Miranosets Orthodox Cathedral Church, Baku European Ashkenazi Jewish Synagogue, Ağdam Cms Mosque, Hudavang Temple in Kəlbəcər, Ağağlan Mosque in Laçın, Yuxarı Gövxar Ağa Mosque in Şuşa, and other mosques, churches and synagogues. Prayers were offered for the souls of the sons of the motherland who had died for the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. Religious rites were performed. Prayers were offered for the establishment of eternal peace in our country and the world. Thanks to the historic victory of the victorious Azerbaijani army, life is being revived in our lands, which were once occupied and destroyed by the enemy, and conditions are being created for the return of our people to those territories. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva attended the groundbreaking ceremony of the Patriotic War Memorial Complex and the Victory Museum on November 8th Avenue in Baku. According to the executive order signed by President İlham Əliyev on December 3, 2020, the establishment of Memorial Complex and Victory Museum in Baku was tasked to commemorate and demonstrate to the public the unparalleled heroism and great historical victory of the Azerbaijani people in the Great Patriotic War and to perpetuate the dear memory of our martyrs. During the past period, a design of the Patriotic War Memorial Complex and the Victory Museum has been prepared. According to the design, a museum will be established in the complex to perpetuate the memory of the soldiers and officers and all of our martyrs who fought heroically for the liberation of our lands. The name of every martyr of the Great Patriotic War will be engraved in the museum complex, and the exhibits will once again demonstrate the courage of the soldiers and officers fighting for the freedom of our territories and the resolve of our people. The complex will be surrounded by a park. After the groundbreaking ceremony, President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva came to the seaside boulevard. At 12 p.m. a minute of silence was observed throughout the country in memory of the martyrs. The warships lined up on the shores of the Caspian Sea whistled and fired. President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva visited the grave of the nationwide leader Heydar Aliyev at the Alley of Honor.
According to the press service of the President, on September 27th, President of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan made a phone call to President of the Republic of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev in connection with the Remembrance Day. President of Turkey once more time offered his condolences for the martyrs who died during the Patriotic War. Recep Tayyip Erdogan at the same time extended his congratulations on the glorious victory of our army in the Second Karabakh War. President İlham Əliyev expressed his gratitude to the head of state of Turkey and once more time highly praised the political and moral support extended by the President of Turkey to our country during the Patriotic War. Heads of state expressed their confidence that friendly and brotherly relations between Azerbaijan and Turkey will further develop and consolidate from now on. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, victorious Commander-in-Chief İlham Əliyev made a post on the occasion of September 27th, the Day of Remembrance, on his official Facebook and Instagram accounts. In a post, President İlham Əliyev shared a photo highlighting the servicemen of the Azerbaijani Army Special Forces soldiers. First Vice President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mehriban Aliyeva, made an Instagram post on the occasion of September 27th, Remembrance Day. The post on her official Instagram page says, "Dear sisters and brothers, today we commemorate the martyrs of the Patriotic War. We honor our heroes who sacrificed their lives for the glorious victory. Having demonstrated a true example of patriotism and devotion to the motherland, they destroyed the invader completely and restored the territorial integrity of our country thanks to their fearlessness, bravery, strong will, and enthusiasm. I express my gratitude to the parents who raised such brave sons, whose names are forever engraved in the history of Azerbaijani state, and ask the Almighty God to grant them patience. We commemorate our innocent citizens who were killed during the war. May Allah rest the souls of all our martyrs. May Almighty God always protect our people. A year ago on this day, the mighty Azerbaijani army under the command of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief led the groundwork for the glorious victory. On September 27, 2020, in response to a large-scale provocation of the Armenian armed forces on the front line, the Azerbaijani army launched a counter-offensive operation which was later named Iron Fist. The 44-day pandemic war marked the end of the occupation, which lasted for almost 30 years and led to the restoration of our territorial integrity. Today, Azerbaijan paid tribute to the memory of the martyrs of the pandemic war with a minute of silence. The dear memory of martyrs was also commemorated in Shusha with a minute of silence. A march on the occasion of the Day of Remembrance took place in Shusha today. The march, which began from the central square, ended in front of the Ganja Gate of the historic Shusha fortress. The memory of martyrs of the pandemic war who sacrificed their lives for the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan was commemorated with a minute of silence at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A ministerial statement was read out at the event devoted to the Remembrance Day. It was emphasized that the 44-day pandemic war not only led to the liberation of our occupied lands, the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan and the fundamental rights of almost 1 million Azerbaijanis were also restored. In mosques and churches of the liberated from occupation Shusha, Kəlbəcər, Laçın and Ağdam regions, the memory of our martyrs was honored. Prayers were read for the repose of their souls. The memory of the martyrs was honored on the lands for the liberation of which they sacrificed their lives. In the liberated from the 30-year occupation Gövhər Mosque in Shusha, the call to prayer was sounded, the memory of our martyrs was honored, and prayers for the repose of their souls were read.
اللهم صل على محمد سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر.
Members of the Albanian Nudic Christian community visit Khudavank Monastery complex in the Karbala region to pray for the repose of the souls of our martyrs.
Ahmet dünyaya bakala bir dönemler.
Amen.
Mumlar yandırdık, dualar okuduk.
We've been here several times. The first time it was on December 4th last year after the liberation of the Karbala region. We visited the monastery, lit candles, read prayers. We prayed for the peace of our children's souls. May Allah rest their souls. May there be peace in our country, said Rafik Danakari, Deputy Chairman of the Albanian Nudic Christian community. Representatives of the Albanian Nudic Christian community also visited the Yaradılan monastery in the Laçın region, honored the memory of our martyrs. Prayers were read, candles were lit for the repose of the souls of our heroes who died for the motherland. They prayed for the health and speedy recovery of the servicemen who were wounded in the 44-day war that ended in victory. We visit the Yaradılan monastery to honor the memory of the martyrs. On the day of remembrance, we do remember and honor the memory of our martyrs. Thanks to them, we are here today, and we must always remember this, said Robert Mobili, chairman of the Albanian Nudic Christian community. The memory of the heroes who liberated the Ağdam Juma Mosque, which was almost completely destroyed during the occupation and where the cattle was kept, was honored with deep respect. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.